Hi everyone, Evie here, the Greek Goddess of Great Reading. It's the end of another year of me doing these book reviews, so I'm going to do my top 10 reads of 2015. This video is going to look a little disjointed just because I don't have all of my books here at my dad's, some are at my mom's, and some are ebooks, so there'll be parts where I'm here and parts where I'm at my mom's house in a different outfit, so if you're wondering why this looks so weird, that's why. But let's get started with the top 10 books of 2015 for me. These books weren't necessarily published in 2015, but they were books that I read in 2015, and I'm going to start this year from number 10 down to number 1, kind of like first place we find out last, like in most competitions. So number 10 is 5 to 1 by Holly Bodger. So in a future India where women get to choose who their husbands will be based on some tests, this book delivers an insightful look on oppression of both sexes. So it was really interesting and kind of showed how feminism isn't necessarily females being greater than men and equality. I told you we would have a change of scenery. Number 9 is Normal by Graeme and this was this author's debut novel, and it was pretty much a creepy tale told from the perspective of a serial killer, and then the serial killer begins to fall in love and discover his humanity and kind of question what he's doing with his life. And I don't normally like horror or thriller books or movies, but this one was really well done, and I really think that you guys should pick it up if you haven't heard of it. It's a really great book, and the cover is so cool. Number 8 was a classic, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I read it a long time ago, but then I decided to reread it, well, with the end of the entire franchise of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and it was written for children because I used to try to read the Lord of the Rings books when I was younger, and it was a bit too much for me, but I really enjoyed this book, and it was a great read for me to reread this year. Number 7 is this heavy tome, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I got this for Christmas last year for my sister Maria, and it has stood the test of time. For a while it held the place of number 1 of 2015, but is still on this list at number 7. So it's a really great book, a classic love story about Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler, set amidst the backdrop of the events and aftermath of the American Civil War. Scarlett goes from riches to rags and works her way back up the social ladder again. And she is truly a feminist of her time, even though sometimes you want to kill Scarlett O'Hara because she's a little selfish sometimes, but she really worked hard in this book to get back to where she wanted to be in life. And it's a huge book, but I finished it in 2 weeks because I was just plowing through it and I loved it. Now, Between the Stars and Sky by David James was an ebook I received from the author himself as winner of a contest that he was holding on his Facebook page, and at first I didn't get the book. I read it when I was abroad this summer and I didn't get it. I didn't understand the writing, but then when I found out that it was written in prose, I read it differently, and it was such a beautiful book, such an amazing love story, such a sad, tragic love story, but it was so heart-wrenching, and he even has a little short story after with some of the other characters in the book, and it was so amazing, and I loved it, and I think you guys should go buy it and just cry. So many tears. Thanks, David. Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling is the second collection of essays by this brilliant female comedian, giving us more insight into her life and how she became a success. And you can count on some laughs along the way. I read her book, Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns last year, and it was my top read of that year. And again, she's so funny. I recently watched her in The Office, and I watched the Mindy Project that she stars and writes and directs, and I don't even know, she does everything in it. But it is a great book. It's non-fiction, but it feels like you are reading about some crazy high school drama sometimes, some wacky college fiascos. It's so great, and I really hope you guys pick it up. Number 4 is Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. My sister and I both read this book over the summer. It's actually my sister's book. It's a bit weathered, and I bought it years ago for her, and she hadn't read it until we went to Greece this summer, and it was a really amazing book. It's a beautiful story of friendship between two girls in a time and place where women were treated as if they absolutely nothing and meant absolutely nothing to the people around them, but through their friendship they are truly able to see their worth. Number 3 is the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Riordan, and I bought all 5 books with the new covers this past year. I had seen the first 2 movies, and my sister and I actually did book to movie reviews or comparisons, and I'll link those 2 below as well. And I just love Greek mythology, and I really like how they portrayed the Greek myths and sort of modernized them in this tale. And there's just so much adventure that Percy and his friends get involved in. There's a little bit of romance in there, some tragedy, some familial angst. Of course there are. The Greek gods always have problems and family drama. They invented family drama. The Greeks invented everything, and family drama came from the Greek gods for sure. Pick up this series if you guys haven't already. It's kind of an older series at this point, but definitely worth it. Even if it's middle grade, I think anyone who likes an adventure book will like these stories. Number 2, we're getting closer, is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, who also wrote the Spiderwick Chronicles. It's a story featuring the fairy world living side by side with a town populated by ordinary humans. And this fairy tale gets disturbing very quickly. It was so creepy, but it was so magical at the same time, and it really shows you how fairies are not this like light and cute and Disney sort of type of creature. They are dark and evil and manipulative, and it's just really depicted well in this book, and I really like it when authors do that, and the cover is so beautiful. So it was one of my favorite books of this year. And finally, number 1 is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This was an amazing rendition of Homer's The Iliad, focusing on the relationship between Achilles and his companion Patroclus, spinning a fantastic homosexual relationship that is a love story for the ages. A lot of historians have speculated into the relationship between Achilles and his friend Patroclus, thinking that there was maybe something more going on there than just simple friendship, and who knows, maybe that was the case. It was so amazing, and it tells of the backstory of Achilles and Patroclus and how they came to know each other, and before the Trojan War even started, and it tells like the aftermath too. It was such an amazing read, and I really think that you guys should pick it up, because number 1 book of 2015. If it means something to me, it might mean something to a lot of you guys out there as well. So that's it for my top 10 books of 2015. I hope you guys pick up some of them and read them pretty soon, because they are amazing books. They wouldn't have made it on my list if they weren't. Hope you guys have a great new year, and I'll see you in 2016. I'm Evie, the Greek goddess of great reading, and until next time guys, keep reading.